one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. Can somebody save me, I'm losing every battle.
Good morning. Good morning. Hope you are doing well and welcome to the Brand Momentum Morning Show. I'm your host, Faith James, and we are going to be talking about power today. Power specifically as it regards women, because we're continuing to read from my book, Ladies Power Up Your Brand. So if you know a woman who's an entrepreneur, who is a business owner, just anyone who's really interested in leveling up their life skills and their business skills, go ahead and share this video, tag them, invite them to join the conversation, and definitely it's going to be a fun one this morning. So we're going to be reading from chapter 9. It's the power mindset and emotions chapter. So if you have the book, you can follow along. If you don't have it, it's available for purchase on Amazon. And I just want to say, hope everybody is really excited for this week. It's Thanksgiving week. We are always in gratitude, but even more so this week. And it's really important that you try to send a signal to your brain to always be in gratitude, no matter when it is, no matter what day of the week it is, because that is the one way that you stay powered up. When you focus on the things that you have going on in your life, no matter how big or small, that we remember God commands us to give thanks in all circumstances. In all circumstances, give thanks. So I am grateful for you all. I'm grateful for everyone who tunes in every week for the show. I'm grateful for those of you who pass by every once in a while. It doesn't matter what your frequency is, whether you belong to the Savvy Branders tribe or not. I'm grateful for you, because one of the really key things is no matter how much information you consume, as long as you set the intention to take a little bit and bring it into action, you get to be really grateful for that. You get to give yourself praise for that. So let's read. So we start off with 2 quotes, as we do at the beginning of the book. We start with a quote. It's time for us to have a voice. It's time for us to have power. Ellen DeGeneres. And the second quote is, to be outstanding, you must be willing to stand out. And that's from William Arruda. Now, good morning. Is that Lisa? Let me know if that's you, Lisa. Lisa, you should be able to look up above wherever you're watching it, and there should be a line of copy that says "Give StreamYard permission to use your name." If you exit and you look and see that, click that, and your name will show up instead of Facebook user. Women, it's truly our time. It's time for us to activate our power, which for many lies dormant deep in the recesses of our souls. It just needs to be activated. So the point there is, you don't need to get power. You already have it. You've been created with that power, right? God already tells us that we're well equipped and able. And so he wouldn't say that if we didn't already have within us the things required to make us equipped and able. So that is just the first truth I want to connect you to. It's in you. It is already in you. Somebody hashtag it's in me. So as you are going through life, remember you're not looking for anyone, any guru to give it to you. The guru of all gurus, the influencer of all influencers, the master of all masters, the king of all kings has already given it to you. It's in you. How do you activate that power? Is the question. Brenda, beautiful Brenda. Oh my gosh. Yes, there you are. I love your photo. So fab. Look at you. Yes, Brenda, it's in me. Everybody hashtag that. That's so important that you remember that. It's already in you. So, how do you activate that power? You have a great start now by knowing yourself more authentically and in having a tangible power brand blueprint. But let's take it a step further and identify and activate your power emotions. So, the emotions that you are feeling as you're going through your daily life, I want you to really presence yourself to those. So, women, a reminder, we already have the power and we are not here to get anyone's permission to use it, keep it, flaunt it. For most, the challenge is figuring out how to activate that power without the fear and doubt that arises from others perceiving them as too powerful. Right? We know that as women, we are often challenged with this notion that if you speak up, if you have a point of view, if you have a voice, you are in fear of being judged, pushy or bossy or bitchy or whatever it might be. So, good morning, beautiful Marion. So, oftentimes we shy away from it because we don't want to be judged, and we are fearful of what other people think of us, how other people perceive us. And I just want to remind you that what other people think of you is none of your business, because they're going through their own journey, they're going through their own situations and casting their own emotions on you. And it's not about you, it's about them. And you get to remember that. So, well, we're here to tell you, get comfortable with it. Become accustomed to the stares and disapproving looks that say, who does she think she is? That you may experience or perceive to experience when you show up fully as your authentic self, and prepare to shake it off, secure in the knowledge that you deserve to be here. You have every much a right in this place as anyone else does. It is all good. Your power will look amazing on you. Yes. Good morning, beautiful Jacqueline. Your power will look amazing on you. When most people think of women and emotions, there's always a negative connotation. Don't get so emotional, or you're so emotional, or you get too emotional, as if emotions are a bad thing. Any way you slice it, the concept of a woman standing strong and willingly and willfully activating her emotions is associated with negativity. We're here to change that conversation. Emotions are good, especially when we activate our power emotions. Power emotions help us to elevate as women to our full potential. They light up who we are as individuals, as women, as business owners, as brands. According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, the word power means to act or produce an effect. Think about a time when you took some sort of bold and noteworthy action. How did you feel? What was the result? Did you regret it or were you proud of it? We almost always regret not doing something, but less often regret actually doing it. We're going to share a story that if you've met Faith, chances are you've heard before, but we repeat it here because it's a story that kicked off her entire, so we're talking about myself, her entire career, a 20 plus year in advertising, leading to founding her own firm, which has helped hundreds of women connect with their authentic selves and create successful brands and careers. So yes, it's important to repeat. So the story goes on to talk about how I powered up my way to my first job in advertising, which was at Ogilvy and Mather. And I'm not going to read it because obviously I can tell it to you, but it's on chapter 94 and 95. So I want you to think about, so before that, we asked you to think about a time that you took some bold action, something that happened for you that turned out to be a really pivotal moment in your life. And it's important to connect into the emotions that were going on in that moment. So, my story of how I got my first gig in advertising was I was at Hunter College going to school, pursuing a communications degree. And one of my cohorts, Annette Mata, shout out to Annette, she was also in the communications track. And so we were walking on Madison Avenue and we stopped and started having a conversation. And she started to tell me that she had just gotten this great internship. So, of course, part of the program is you get internships in the industry that you're pursuing your degree in. So she had just gotten this wonderful internship at Channel 47 Noticias. So as a Latina, that was a great gig for her. But meanwhile, she'd already gotten a gig at Ogilvy. So now she's got 2 internships. So we're talking and she's going to take the Channel 47 one. And she asks me, do you want the Ogilvy one? Now, let's just even pause there. So she doesn't control the job allocation. So just think about, even from Annette's point of view, the boldness, right? Remember, we talked a little bit before about we're not here to ask for permission. She didn't wait to ask for permission to see if she could offer the internship that she already interviewed for and secured. She offered it to me. So there is that power that we're talking about, not asking for permission. And then she says, good morning, beautiful. So great of you to join us. So bold step number 1, power, in her full power, not asking for permission. She offers me the internship at Ogilvy and Mather. I, in my full power and boldness, agree and says yes. So she's giving me something that, quote unquote, she doesn't have permission to give, which means I don't have permission to take it because I've never met the hiring manager. So that's the first moment. So I want you to connect into the emotions that were going on in that moment. Who were we, these 2 women of color? She's a Latina, I'm Black, I'm from Jamaica. Brokering our own deals with asking no one for permission. Can we even do this? Is this even quote unquote, something we can do? Connecting with that. I show up the day, Monday, when Annette's supposed to come, because remember, she's taking Channel 47. So I show up with my resume, with all my things, in my best, corporate suit. And I ask for the hiring manager. And when she comes down, now remember, I'm walking into the biggest advertising agency on the globe. Nobody's seen me a day in their life. Nobody knows me. And I proceed to tell her, I said, Annette is not going to make it, but I am here. So let's connect into this moment. The boldness, because I could have said yes when I met Annette on Madison Avenue, and then second guessed, thought about, got into my fear position of, oh my gosh, they're going to kick me out of the agency. This is not protocol. It's not right. I don't want to look like a fool because I would be in fear of being judged, embarrassed. I could have said, no, you know what? That was crazy. Who do we think we are, right? When we just read, people are going to say, who does she think she is? Who do you think you are, Miss Faith James, to be showing up to Ogilvy and Mather, the biggest, baddest advertising agency on the planet, talking about you're getting a job that you didn't even interview for, and nobody knows you a day in your life? She comes down, she gets the information. Now she's shocked out of all shock. Like, what is going on? Who is this woman in front of me? And where was the woman that I hired? I sit down. She goes through my resume, goes through everything. I get the position. So connect into the emotions that would be going through your own body in this story that I'm telling you about me. Now I get the job. I have another decision point. Meanwhile, at this time, I'm working at Mitsubishi Textiles in the daytime just to get money to pay my rent and to go through school. Like, it's not anything I'm pursuing as a career, but it's paying me. I go in and I quit. Listen to me, ladies and enlightened gentlemen. I go in and I quit, as we would say in Jamaica, quit my good job. That means, a job that you have that's serving the purpose for you. I quit that job to take a 7-week internship. Connect into the emotions and the power. What are the emotions that you think would be going through you in that moment? Right? There's this fear outside, people coming, are you crazy? What are you doing? This is 7 weeks. You have rent to pay. What are you going to do? You live with your sister. You got to pay your half of the rent. So all of those negative emotions, all of those limiting emotions that could have come in to say, this is insane. But I connected into my power emotions because within me, because I already know God's already equipped me. My self-talk was, I just need to get my heels in this door. I just need to get my heels inside of this door of this agency, because I know once I'm in, I am going to work like I've never worked before and get a full paying position. That was my intention that I set. I didn't let all of the negative or what ifs, what could happen get in my way. So I quit my job at Mitsubishi Textiles. I take the 7-week gig and I work and I work and I work. And at the end of the 7-week, what initially, right, could have been, oh my gosh, you made such a huge mistake, turned into, oh, Faith, please don't leave. So when my 7-week was up, then I got hired on to IBM, which was the biggest account at the agency. So just, I want you to think about this string of emotions going through this story, that if I wasn't fully standing in my power, if I wasn't willing to be judged, if I wasn't willing to face whatever negative limiting thoughts I could think of, I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you today, because I would have taken such a small path. But because I knew, I connected into the fact that I have the power within. Absolutely, Jacqueline. Scripture tells us, delight yourself in the Lord, he will give you the desires of your heart. Delight yourself in the Lord, he will give you the desires of your heart. And so for me, a big, huge core desire was to get into a flagship agency and build my career, not really even knowing where I would go once I got in. I just knew I wanted in. So I want you now to connect. I want to hear from you all. Connect to a story of your own. Go back to the times when you were fearless, because one of the things that we lose as we go into adulthood and we start worrying about what people think about us, and we give away our power to other people because we want to be liked. We have such a big need to be liked. Go back to when you were younger. Go back to a time that you can remember when you did something that now, as you look back at it, you're thinking, whoa, who was that? Did I do that? Like with Urkel, right? Yeah. Did you do that? Yeah, you did. And remember the emotions. So connecting specifically to the emotions that you were feeling as you were going through the story. So it could be anything, like my story, going in and getting a position that wasn't, set up for you in the normal way, if you will, but you took a chance and you were emboldened and it worked out for your good. Connect into that right now, every one of you who are on with me live, and those of you who are going to be catching the replay. It is so important, because that was the truth of who you are. That is the truth of who you are. When you move boldly and fearlessly without consideration for cause or effect, you move boldly and forward with the knowing that God said to you, be still and know that I am God, that I've got this. Yesterday, I posted on Saturday, I posted on my Facebook page, the battle is not yours. The battle is the Lord's. Think back, because you have to remind yourself that you're powerful. You have to remind yourself that you're a masterpiece. You have to remind yourself that you were created in the image and the likeness of God. You have to remind yourself that you're created just below the angels and you have power within. and connect into those moments when you did something that was so mind-blowing to you now that you look back at it. And let's chart a course for how you get back to that, because that, my loves, that is your true North Star. That is your true North Star. Think about your stories. I want to hear from you. Put them in the comments. So important, because when we walk around in fear, we walk around with this like what if sign on our head. We walk around timid, not taking chances. God says, enlarge in the place of your territory. He didn't say just take a little corner on this 1 acre. He said, enlarge in, build a 10,000 square foot home on the acre. You apologize for your presence to no one. So let me hear from you. What are some stories, and can you connect back to that person, that younger woman who took that action, and wow, where has she gone? Where has she gone? Where is she gone? She's still with you. And you just need to activate. You just need to get connected to that truth and move like you know whose you are. Not who you are. Move like you know whose you are. I am daughter of Abraham. I am child of the King. Let's see. Okay, so Jacqueline says her next bold move is she's creating a masterclass to teach others that I do, retiring from sewing at 59, and we need others to do my job. Okay, so Jacqueline's a master seamstress. She is a designer of all things, clothing. That is one of the core assets of her brand. And now she's looking to hire and scale to teach others so that when she gets ready for retirement, that work continues on. And so to be that bold, right? Because it takes that level of boldness to say, yes, I'm going to take on this work and teach what I know and empower other people with the skills, with the talent that I have, so that she can go on and continue to do the next chapter of her life. So what are the emotions? What are the emotions that come up when you're thinking about making this next move? What does it require, right? It requires discernment. It requires a sense of purpose. It requires a joy that says, this talent that I have, this passion that I have, I want to be able to share that with others who are ready for it, and get connected into that. Don't focus on when the little challenges pop up. We give so much weight and credence and power to challenges, and we don't stop and celebrate, big time celebrate, and give gratitude for the joys, the good things that come up when you finally find someone, Jacqueline, who can really who knows what a bobbin thread is. You're like, yes, thank you, Jesus. Somebody who's ready. Give moments of celebratory notions. Good morning, Nicole, my love. How are you? Yeah. Yes, Jacqueline, the fear comes up. And we know what? We know that fear and faith cannot live in the same body. So we get to choose and decide, who are we giving space to? And remember, months ago, Jacqueline, when we did the mental diet challenge, it is not to say that fear won't show up, because we're humans. It is not to say you won't have moments of doubt. The big work that you get to do is the minute you see it, recognize it, feel it, you kindly usher it out. And you usher it out in whatever way you can usher it out, with the certainty that it doesn't get to live here. There's no room at the inn. Satan, get behind me. Not today, devil. Whatever you get to say, that's your cancellation, right? Of when the fear comes in, out. There's no room for you. You can't sit and steep like a good cup of tea. No, there's no steeping for you here. Out. Cut and clear. Out. Good morning, beautiful Arlene. How are you? Oh, it's good to see you as well. Oh my gosh, it's been so long. So Jacqueline's saying, "What? How am I going to do?" But I know He will put everything I need in me to do it. Absolutely, that's the thing. So when we recall the story when Moses was being given the mission to go deliver the children of Israel, right? He tried to tell God all kinds of things, all kinds of fear, all kinds of reasons. Oh, God, I stutter. I don't know these big words. I can't go in front of the Pharaoh. He's such a big influencer. And what did God say to Moses? Moses, who made your tongue? Moses, who made your tongue? So God's basically saying, like, you're not even saying anything to me. Like, this line of fear, what if, doubt, it's like a joke, because who made your tongue? You're talking about the Pharaoh. Listen, if you have fear over any situation, I remember a time when I was in corporate, and as the new biz development, one of my roles was I had goals of like bringing in a certain number of proposals, in a quarter. And I remember there was one time I was in such fear, like I was looking at my numbers and it wasn't close to what my goal was. And then I started to get in fear. Oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to lose my job. And I would just have this fear relationship with my boss. And it's like the angel just stepped down to me and was like, He is no greater than God Himself. Why are you in such fear of Him? And you're not giving this same fear and deference and reference to God. That just snapped me out of it. It snapped me out of it. And I was just like, you know what? He's not God. He's not God. I'm either going to hit the numbers or I'm not going to hit the numbers. I'm either going to not hit them and get, released of my position, and if that happens, I'm going to find another job. Like, I literally just snapped out of it, because when I thought about it, it's like, this is a person, this is a human just like me, made of water, blood, skin, bone, plasma, all of it, just like me. And the fact that, yes, he's in a position of authority doesn't mean I give away my power, that I'm shaking and quaking in my boots, that there's cortisol coursing all through my body because I'm so scared. Stop. And that's when I stopped. And I was like, no, it's either going to go down, that he understands the market, that we're not where we need to be because X, Y, and Z, or he's going to be like, you know what, you didn't make your numbers. I'm going to release you from the position. But I chose. Nicole, hear me. We get to choose. Remember, scripture tells us we cannot serve two masters. So even when it looks dark and gloomy and like nothing good is coming, you must remember, sadness comes at nighttime, but joy cometh in the morning. You have to lock into a belief. We can't be waffling back and forth. We have to have a truth and a knowing, like Daniel, when the king was like, you're going to eat my food and you're going to serve me. And he was like, no, sir, I don't eat your food. I eat vegetables. And that's it. And when the king insisted, no, you get to worship me, or I'm going to put you in the lion's den. What did Daniel say? He held firm to his course of knowing and belief. He says, yes, you could put me in to the lion's den and I could die, and my God will save me. And even if he doesn't save me, I'm still not eating your food. That's conviction. That is a conviction and a belief in a knowing. So where is your compass, Nicole? Where is your North Star? When we're waffling back and we have no sail up, my love, I'm going to ask you to hoist your sail and set a direction. Because what Daniel did is perfect for us to focus on. This is what I'm believing for. I'm believing my God is going to save me. But even if he doesn't save me, I'm still not eating your food. Think about that. It's a decision point. So decide. The word decide, when you break it down to its root word, icide, means death. So homicide, somebody got killed. Suicide, somebody killed themselves. Pesticide, somebody killed a pest. Herbicide, you get it. Decide means death to all other options. You've killed off any other options. That's when you're decided, Nicole. That's when you're resolved. That's when you are purpose-led and focused. That you're saying, my art is going to be showcased in galleries all across the world. And that is what I'm doing. And that is my purpose. And even if something doesn't sell, I'm moving forward. So I'll give you an example. So yesterday was the November Branding Over Brunch workshop. You know, I do these monthly. And I had only one person enrolled. Now, if I was in fear and I could have canceled it, I could have given that person their money back and say, we didn't have, the minimum 5, so I'm not going to do it. Do you know what I did? I showed up with the fullness, with the excitement, and rocked her Instagram for her. She put this amazing testimonial on her page. And then all of a sudden I'm seeing all these new people following me. So look what would have happened if I looked at it and said, oh man, only one person, it's not worth. I would have missed my blessings, because now you look at her IG feed, she is so like in awe. I am in awe, and I'm the one who like created it for her, but it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I mean, when she showed up with her Instagram, it was a hot mess. And one person showed up to the session, and I still delivered, because that is what I do. I am decided. When I decided that I was doing these monthly workshops get to go, whether there's one person or there are 10 people. For October, we had 6-7 people, right? Yay, everybody's like having a great time. Like, oh yeah, that's wonderful. November, one person. Guess what? My energy, my emotions still, yay, excitement, joy, because it's about what I'm doing. I am here to serve and to support. And whether that is one person or 10 people, the mission doesn't change. See, I'm not waffling. My sail is set. So faith and fear cannot exist in the same body. You get to make a decision of what your belief system is, what it is that you're intending, and you move forward with that knowing. You put your blinders on and you go. And you go. I am hoping that is landing for everyone, not just for Nicole. Eufrella says, I'm a retired teacher. I taught many children and adults. I encourage the student teachers to step out in faith and to believe that they can do it. Absolutely. Because without that, we're just waffling in the wind. Nicole, I'm glad to hear that. Yes, come into the program, message me, email me, faith@faithjames.com. Let's have a chat, because this is good. I'm glad it's landing. I'm glad it's landing. And actually, let me just say, on December 5th, I believe, December 5th, I'm going to confirm the dates. I'm going to be doing a free workshop. This is for every and anyone. It's going to be about setting up your brand goals for 2022. So stay tuned for that. We're going to do that on Zoom. It's going to be in the Zoom session, but you just have to register to get in, but it's free. It's so important that we set our sails as we go, that we're not just waiting for things to happen to us and seeing what happens. We're not loitering in the streets, wondering what's going to happen. We have a direction. You know, I have two pieces of art in my office, and one is called Man on a Mission, and the other one is Woman on a Mission. And I look at, they're above here when I sit. So I look at them and I just use that as I look at the people in it and the way that they're moving. They're leaning forward. Their arms are like this. I wish I could show it to you. But be on a mission. We're not loitering and waiting to see what happens. We are moving forward with purpose. So hear Daniel's words. This is what I believe in. This is what I do. This is what I don't do. I am not going to do your thing because that is not my mission. That is not my purpose. That is not my calling. And if you want to do something, so meaning you don't want to support me, listen, I tell people all the time, I said, if you don't want to work with me because I call on the name of the Lord, I am good with that. I am so good with that because God has got me. So that is a purpose for me to include my truth, my faith, my knowing, my authenticity as part of my business because I am my brand. I am everywhere I am. There are other people who don't call on the name of the Lord, that if those are the people that you choose to work with, absolutely, they're out there for you. But my truth is this, because I can't even tell you how many people have said to me, oh, Faith, you know, maybe just tone down the God thing. No, ma'am, tone down the God thing. My name is Faith. Do you want to even understand how I got my name? I'll tell you that story another time. So you get to know what your truth is, what is your North Star, and set your sail and go. Hear me when I tell you that yesterday, when I saw only one person registered, most people would have canceled it and said it's not worth it. But it was such a beautiful session. Her Instagram, and this is what I know. If I didn't have that session with her, she was not going to be able on her own to get there. Like, this is not even being braggadocious. This is the truth. And so if one person, think about when stories in the Bible, they talk about the shepherd and they've lost the sheep. One sheep was lost. What did the shepherd do? He put down the 99 and went looking, searching for the one sheep to bring that sheep back into the fold. So don't ever feel like, oh, I only have one person on my live, or only have one person who responded to my email. The one person is just as important, because remember, Jesus says, when you do it unto the least of these, you do it unto me. We get to set our sail. Set our sail. Yes, absolutely. I will be posting it all over. So, nobody will miss it, and share this with, when you see it, share it with other people, because it's free. This is like my gift, my Christmas end of year gift, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa gift. So everybody gets an opportunity to kick off and start a new year right. Again, I see so many people wandering, loitering, and it's time to get out of the desert. It's time to get into a community. It's time to get into a group with an individual or individuals that you can connect to and be on that same path and that same journey. So think about your stories. Think about when you were a younger, more fearless woman, enlightened man. Think about some things that you did and connect into the emotions of, okay, what was going on for me when I did that? Who was I being? Who was I being? I remember when I got the job at Ogilvy, shortly thereafter, I was asked to move out to the LA office to go work on the IBM software account. And that was a big move. Didn't really have any friends. I mean, I had some family there, but I was like, yeah. Went out there. Never knew anything about LA traffic till I got there. It was like, I lived in Pasadena. So to get from the 110 to the 10 to the 405 to get to the office, on Wilshire Boulevard, I mean, traffic galore. So I was like, okay, I could choose to be mad and sad and annoyed, or I could redeem the time and make this work for me. So you know what I did? I got a Berlitz 123 cassette tape. Yes, I'm totally dating myself, back in the 90s cassette tape. And I put that in my car. And in an hour plus of traffic, I taught myself French. So, je parle français un petit peu. That's power, because I'm victim to nobody's traffic. You want to lock me up on a 405 going, a mile, in like, I don't even know how long it would take to go a mile. I'm like, you know what? Watch me. I'm going to learn French. How's that? Can't hold me down. Can't stop, won't stop. That's that attitude, that fearlessness that's like, what could be the situation? So you have people, mad and sad in traffic, road raging all over the place. My advice, honey, go get you a Berlitz 123 tape and learn some French or Spanish or Russian or whatever language of your choosing. Redeem your time. So let's see. Jacqueline says, my TED Talk in front of a group of people. I was just being me and I love it. I was able to jump out of my shy shell. Exactly. So you think about, okay, what was I thinking and feeling in that moment that made me say yes to doing a TED Talk? And then as I was preparing, how was I feeling, right? So, and then when you get on the stage, right, you're not victim to anybody's whispering or talking about. You just got on and you were fearless and you delivered your talk and you were like, boom. So this is exactly what I'm saying. Remember those moments when you did some big things in your life, things that were out of your comfort zone, because nothing magical happens in a comfort zone. Nothing. Zero magical happens. You get to be pushed out to the edges and look over. And there's all kinds of magic in front of you. But you have to be willing to get close to the edge. You have to be willing to take the chance. You have to be willing to step out, right? When you see other people living what you think is their ideal life and you're like, ooh, I want that too. You have to be willing to step out, to jump over the chasm. Or in Peter's case, when he saw Jesus walking on water, and first he thinks it's a ghost. And Jesus is like, oh, settle down. It's just me. And he's like, hey, I want to do that too. Hey, she's got a show. I want a show too. Hey, she just wrote a book. I want a book too. Hey, that person's getting I want to get awards too. Big universe. It's here for everyone, but you get to step out into it. Step out into it. So when Peter was like, hey, I want to do that too. What did Jesus? He said, sure, come. That's it. Think about it, people. It's just that simple. Come, go for it. Do it. So he steps out on the water. Peter's like, hey, whoa, check it out. I am walking on water. And what happens the minute he starts to look down and sink? And now he's in danger of drowning. And he's like, Lord, help me. And he gets pulled up. And what did Jesus ask him? Why did you take your eyes off of me? Because he was walking, just nothing changed. People, listen to me. Nothing changed. When Peter first came out of that boat and he's walking on the nothing changed. Didn't say, oh, a big storm. Nothing changed. What was the only thing that changed? He took his eyes off the prize. He started to look down. He started to look down. He started to listen to what other people were saying. She started to listen to what people wrote on her review. You start to look out and you take your eyes off the only thing that matters. And that's when you start to drown and call out, Lord, help me. Yeah, this is the key. You're not going to please everyone. Listen to me. Apple, a $1 trillion brand, does not have a 100% favorable review rating if you go on Google and search it. Think about that. So they have the resources to do whatever, whenever, wherever, however, and even still, they don't have 100% review. So when we as entrepreneurs, as business owners, try to think like, oh, somebody wrote a negative, That's par for the course, honey. Apple is a $1 trillion brand, probably only has like a 67, 80, maybe 70% favorability report. You're doing just fine, right? So if you just take that knowing that, you know what, I'm not going to get 100% of the people. You know, in the book, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, says life isn't fair and don't expect it to be. Things are going to happen. Jesus already told us. He said, in this life you will have problems, but be of good cheer because I've overcome it all. It's an open book test. If you just follow what's going on, it's an open book test. Jesus already told you, you're going to have problems, but overcome. You're going to have problems. Only one person's going to show up, but overcome. Do it anyway, because I got you. Because guess what? You showed me your faithfulness to be in service to your people. When one person shows up, and get ready, I'm about to send you on a stage to speak to 10,000 people. We get to pass the test, people. We get to pass the test. So think about, when was a moment in your younger days, because that's oftentimes you can find good stories there, when you took a bold action, when you were fearless, when you weren't really so focused on what people were going to say, you weren't focused on conversations about, oh, you should or shouldn't. And what were the emotions that you were feeling? You were being fearless, you were being bold, you were being confident, or you were being really kind. You know, maybe it's a story where you stopped and helped a total stranger. And what were the emotions and the feelings that you felt coming out of that? That says, you know what? When I am kind to strangers, fill in the blank. And then just endeavor to do more of that. Endeavor to do more of that. So I want you to think right now, if there's something that you're thinking, oh my gosh, I could never do that. I want you to today think about, how could I do that? Switch the conversation. How could I do that? Right? How could I do that? Yeah, Jacqueline's saying fun. So you think about it, you know what? I was so funny that people were having fun. So the idea is, okay, I can infuse a little bit of humor into my brand and, you know, not take myself so seriously. What are some other ways of being that you get to be every single day, to be your true authentic self, to be unapologetic and bold and kind and filled with humility at the same time? Right? Brenda, tell me what you mean. How could I switch the conversation? How could I do that? What do you mean by that? So you want to connect into when you took a big, bold leap of faith, you know, and again, it's only going to be judged by you, because what I consider a bold leap of faith might be very different from yours, and that's fine. It's what's for you. And be in that energy. Be in that energy. When you're shrinking, when you're saying, oh, nobody likes me, oh, I couldn't do that. Shoulders back, chest up, head up. Know who is the lifter of your head. Give praise and thanksgiving for the things that are coming that you don't even know, but because God already told you, I'm working everything out for your good, you know there's good on the way. And this is that expectation. If you don't have an expectation of good things are coming your way, good things are going to happen to you. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, change. I see what you're saying. Yeah, how could you do that? Exactly. Think about what, you know, what's another good source too is when you read you know, biographies, autobiographies, and you connect into other people's stories. And this is why I tell story about me and my personal life and my business all the time, because I want you to connect into the humanity of who I am and realizing I am no different, better, special, that yes, you could do the same thing as well. But you just get to believe. You just get to believe that this is your endowment from your Father, Creator, that good things are meant to happen for you. You get to believe that. And if you have challenges, then my invitation to you is to go back to when you were smaller, find a time, find a situation, and connect into that little girl, that young woman. Who was she? Who was she being when she said yes to going to an out-of-state college, and let's say you became class president or you led a rally or whatever? Dig deep, because there are moments and stories in there when you were being your true authentic self, fearless and bold, loving, kind, seeking justice, whatever it might be. And somehow, some way, you have separated yourself from that person, from that young woman who was your authenticity. And this is your path to come back to oneness, to wholeness of the truth of who you are as a fearless woman, as a bold woman, as an unapologetic, kind, loving, giving woman. Connect in to your stories. Connect into your emotions. Who was I? How was I being? Write them down if you need to. One of the things I tell my clients all the time is to keep a FAB file, a FAB, F-A-B file, which means when you get a letter of recommendation, you get testimonials, you get a letter that's just of deep gratitude, have all of those in one place so you can always look to it and remind yourself, because sometimes we forget. When we're weak in our faith in the truth of who we are easily led by others. We're easily led by others because we give more credence, more importance, more validation to what they're saying than the truth of what God has said about us. And it's no judgment, it just is. It's like even the children of Israel, after miracles of miracles, everything that they saw that happened in Egypt when they were being on their way in the Exodus out, they still complaining to Moses, oh, you brought us out here to kill us. Why you didn't leave us in Egypt? We have fish. Now this thing you're giving it, right? We're weak humans. It's okay. God already knew this. But my point is, connect into remembering the miracles, remembering the moments that you were bold and fearless, remembering the moments that you were audacious, and go, if I did that back then, there's absolutely no reason why you couldn't and shouldn't be doing it right now. Right now. Do not give your power away to anyone. Who do you think you are? I am daughter of Abraham. I'm the child of the King. Good things come to me always. Declare that, decree that, say that, affirm that. I want you to literally actually say that out loud and give energy, vibration, energy, we're all energy. Give energy to that. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Say it out loud today. God is working out all things for my good. Say it out loud. Give it energy. Send that energy out back into the universe so that everybody is not, confused about what it is that you believe about yourself. Good things happen for me. Favor ain't fair. The favor of God rests heavy on my shoulders. Say it, decree it, declare it. Because when you do that, you push away any opportunities for the negative, the doubt to come in and go, oh my gosh, nobody's going to buy that art. Are you kidding me? Like, who do you think you are, Picasso? And nobody want that. You ever showed in a gallery in New York City? Nobody wants your art. Nicole? Nobody cares about those things. For you to be able to hear that and say, oh, but my love, you are so mistaken. And to not have fear and quake in your boots. You get what I'm saying, Nicole? That you can say, you know what, you just don't have the appreciation for the type of art that I do. And guess what? There are people, this is what I know, like I know. Not everybody is going to buy your art. Not everybody's going to do branding with me. Not everybody's going to have Jacqueline sew and help them with their fitness and finances. Not everybody's going to buy Brenda's vegan bags. Not everybody's going to work with Mary. We already know that to be true. But what you get to know is that your people are already assigned to you. And your job, your responsibility, your duty is to show up. This is why I focus on all things branding and visibility, is to show up so that they can find you. Brand development is not necessarily just about like trying to say, oh, look at me, I'm better than everybody. It's to raise your sail. It's to raise your flag so that the people for whom God has assigned to you can find you. It's the reason why there are road signs and street names. Imagine urban city planning just said, you know what, let's just put in some roads here, roads there. And none of the roads had any street signs, nothing. Just, okay, go. But for the people who are looking to go to Kenner Highway, that's their destination. That's where they're going. They need that sign to say, okay, Kenner Highway this way. The people who are trying to go to US 1 North, head up to Fort Pierce, that's where they're going. So the people who live on Kenner or do business on a Kenner can't say, oh my gosh, why didn't they show up? Because they're going to Fort Pierce. Your people who are in your community, make sure your sign is big. Make sure you show up and let them know if you need XYZ business, we're here on Kenner Highway, then they can find you. Then they can find you. Absolutely. I love that. Yeah. He's going to, of course, he's going to guide us to it. He says it's his pleasure. It's my pleasure to give you the kingdom. But do you believe that? See, this is where we started the conversation. We've got 2 minutes before we have to wrap. I'm going to give you a little bit of pre-Thanksgiving homework. But do you believe that? Do you believe that you are worthy? Do you believe that good things are happening to you and for you? That's where we get to start with the work. Do you believe it? And start looking for examples of evidence that's pointing to that fact. Because if all you do is look for evidence and say, see, only one person showed up to my workshop yesterday, and I'm the queen of branding, I should have had at least 10 people. If you start down that path, then you are the one trying to be in control. But here's what I know, I am in control of nothing. God directs my every steps, and he's already told me my ways are not your ways, my thoughts are not your thoughts. So if my thought was 5 people in yesterday's workshop, and his thought was, I'm going to give you the perfect one who is going to love and adore and appreciate the work that you do, that immediately after the workshop, she did a post on her Instagram and you got new. Who am I but a vessel? Because I'd rather have one person. Here's my philosophy on business, life, everything. I would rather have one person who is the ideal person who is going to be mirror match for what it is that I'm doing than to have 20 people in a session who are not the ones, not willing to do the work. All they're about is excuses. Oh, this is hard. I am here for the right ones. So you have to believe. So when I saw that, I said, God, you are doing a work. You have your perfect plan. You know why. It's just this one person in particular, Lisa. Shout out to Lisa F, who is just such an amazing woman. She's the chief flower creator farmer of Prairie Hills Flower Company in Colorado. The only person who showed up yesterday, but my God, we did such great work and beyond. Beyond. Exactly, Brenda. The ones who are for you are for you. And so when you can take that posture, because what am I demonstrating? I'm demonstrating to God that I fully will understand, God, that you're in control and I'm not in control. And if you say yesterday's session should be one person to do Instagram, and we set up her Instagram posse, which was so much fun. If you say she was the one right person and the only person, and she basically got a private session with me, then God, you're in control and you have a plan, and I am just here for it. And I have no energy around. This is the important thing, because I'm not setting my own expectations. I am being led by my God. So your work to do before we wrap and go into this Thanksgiving week is I want you to think about your brand and all of what's happened for your brand, your business this year so far. And I want you to list out the 3 things that you are the most grateful for. So you probably have a really long list of things that have happened, but I want you to list out the top 3. These are the 3 things that you are most grateful for that have happened to you so far. Go into the Savvy Branders tribe. If you're not a member, get in there. Let me pull this up. If you're not a member, search, because that's where I'll do follow up with you on this. The top 3 things you're most grateful for. And then I want you to post. So today's what, Monday? So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? For Thanksgiving. Each day, so 1 per day. Create a post on what that is and express deep gratitude of what that actually meant for you, for your life, your business, your family, whatever. So let me be clear. You're going to think through all of what's happened so far this year, the top 3 things that happens in your business and your brand that you're most grateful for. And then let's see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah. So today, I want you to go post on your public social, wherever it is, one of those things. You know, in the season of gratitude and Thanksgiving, I'm so grateful that, and a post on what that is. Tomorrow, post number 2. Season of Thanksgiving, I'm grateful for, you know, you can even say, I was challenged to do my top 3, things that I'm grateful for in my business and my brand, so that they'll expect, they'll see all of a sudden you've got 3 things coming. And then Wednesday, the 3rd one. And I want you to really sit with that. And so as we're prepping for the workshop for 2022, what do you want to be grateful for? What are some 3 things, big intentions that you're going to set that you want to be able to do the same exercise next year for? So let me know if that makes sense. Oh, happy birthday early, babes. So yes, absolutely. Everything is working out for your good. I believe that with all my heart and soul. So guys, I love you so much. Have a brilliant, wonderful, fabulous Momentum Monday. We'll see everybody over in the Savvy Branders tribe. When you think of your 3, write them down. You can just list them in the tribe, just list what the 3 are. And then on your own personal, not in the group, in your own personal social platforms, post about the first one today. Yeah. Any questions before we wrap? I want to make sure everybody's got that. All right, we're good. Good. I'm assuming we're good. All right, guys, everybody, listen, I love you so much. I'm so grateful for all of you, for everything that you are to me, and the way that you show up and the way that you support. Share this video, get more people doing this challenge. I love you loads. And I will see everybody in the Facebook group. Take care. Bye-bye.